This is why you need to find a desire to want to get better. When I first started creating on YouTube, I had a few things in my mind. I knew I had problems speaking to a camera. I had a fear of public speaking, and I knew that I wanted to help people. Because in most of the jobs I've had in my life, I was helping people with technology and just helping people in general. You need to identify something that you genuinely enjoy, whether it's a skill, whether it's sports, whether it's like content creation, whether it's, a job that you really are passionate about, but you need to identify that. You need to have that desire to want to learn. And in the beginning, I was like, when I was a little bit younger, I would start something, but then I kept coming back to creation. I kept coming back to helping people. And that skill could be transferred to work. It could be transferred to anything, right? And I kept neglecting it because I listened to what others were saying. I was listening. I was doubting myself. But you need to figure out what you're passionate about, what you enjoy. If once you find that passion, the thing is, what's crazy about a passion? You just obsess over it. You have fun during the ups and the downs. And when I realized these things, I started to create more on YouTube. I started to realize, like, even though it was tough learning how to use cameras, how to use editing software, how to come up with ideas, I have fun doing it. Like, I would never have thought I'll be sitting in my car making YouTube videos, and it wasn't like this cringe or difficult thing to do. It's difficult as a whole, but it was like when I finally just said, this is what I want to do. I made it a hobby, and I'm passionate about it. And I reached this space of like happiness. I was like, I'm really happy with the process. And I know this may sound like corny or cringe or something like that, but you got to find something that you really enjoy. And it doesn't have to be YouTube. I know I'm talking about YouTube because this is something I'm passionate about, and creation. And it can go anywhere it wants to go. But right now, today, I'm at a point where I'm happy doing this. And, helping y'all, it really, it's like having like a whole family asking questions and sharing ideas and sharing thoughts. And this sole premise of diversity of thought has just made me feel like I'm comfortable. And everyone is just like, it's like you guys are all here. And you got to find that passion. And after you find that passion, you got to embrace this difficulty. This is going to be difficult. Like, this is not going to be easy. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be tasks. It's going to be mental. It's going to be physical, because some days I'm tired and I don't want to create, right? You got to understand that this process is a crucial part of growth. Setting up a camera, talking outside, people driving by and seeing me, was something it was difficult for me at one point. And these are some of the hardships of doing it. You're going to see people that are going to look at you like, why is this guy got his camera? What is he doing? I think, and this goes back to the passion. If you are passionate about it, those things don't matter. And they don't matter to me, and they shouldn't matter to you. When you become passionate about something and you have that desire, you will like push through it. You will make it this thing that you just obsess over. And obviously healthy obsession. And this thing, doing it actually nourishes that feeling to want to get better for me. And this brings me to the next thing. There's going to be adversities. You have to overcome those adversities. There's going to be writer's block. There's going to be times where you film something and it may not come out right and you're going to have to do it again. There's going to be days where you work so hard, you work with your family, you had a bad day, and you're just not going to want to do it. But you know what's funny? When it's your passion and it brings you joy and it becomes easy, it doesn't feel, all that doesn't matter. It becomes easy. You gotta start from a difficult place. Like starting from zero on here is difficult. And I know, you know, vanity doesn't matter, but I know it's difficult. For me, it was difficult. I saw for a while, you know, when I started, I saw all these pages and I was like, the only way I'm going to get going is if I start. There's no way I'm going to go from 0 to 100 without doing anything. So I told myself not to look at that. I have to overcome adversity. It's going to make me stronger. It's going to make me better. And it has. Because going back to what I said in the beginning, it's that desire to want to get better. It's that passion. It's embracing that difficulty. And you're going to start somewhere, and you're going to have these things where you're going to have like, you're going to have achievements. Sorry, I'm like, screen just went blank. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure it's still recording. You're going to have these things where you're going to get achievements. You're going to move up. You're going to get more subscribers. You're going to get better. You're going to get comfortable. Use that momentum to overcome those adversities, you know, but obviously don't make it about the metrics, but you know, the vanity metrics, right? That goes back to the passion part. Consistency will push you through. That desire to want to get better just gets easier because it's something you really, really enjoy, y'all. Like, I don't think y'all understand. I really don't think you understand. You work hard at it, you have fun with it, and you'll want to keep doing it. I had a moment here to like talk about this because it was like I'm just happy. You know, you ever finally get to a point where you're just happy and you're just having fun, right? I appreciate y'all, man. You got to just have that desire, man. It's going to be tough. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be a lot of no's. You're going to get a lot of no's. But with that passion, when you finally get that yes, you're going to be super happy. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Seriously. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.